What's going on, guys? This is Bill. I'm trying to think of new intros. I don't even know if that worked. It's Sunday afternoon, and I usually spend my Sunday afternoons here getting projects done. What I have not been doing is YouTube, and I'll get to that in a second because I need to be better, and I probably posted about 8 videos in the last 2 years where I've said I need to get better, but life and work and everything kind of gets in the way of that. I want to start off by saying thank you very much. Dave Kaufman's Reptile Adventures came through here a few weeks ago. The video posted on Friday, and I've gotten a lot of text messages, Facebook messages, comments on that video, and I just want to say thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. I have some new subscribers on YouTube. I have some new Instagram and TikTok followers. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And I have not been very active on YouTube. I started it a couple of years ago just to see, what I could do. And I've gotten 500 subscribers now, which is incredibly crazy. And I had no idea. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm doing this for fun. I like to share my experiences. And I am going to try my best to be more consistent in posting videos. I think in the last 2 years I made about 6 or 7 videos where I've said that, but I really mean it this time. So in the Dave video that posted, he highlighted some of the ambassador animals. You guys got to see a little bit about Ralphie. You guys got to see a little bit about Jake. But today I want to talk about and focus on Kalisto. Kalisto was the scaleless bearded dragon that was featured on Dave's thumbnail and featured in the video. And I want to be a little more detailed and talk about Kalisto today. All right, so the first thing we need to do is get her out and soak her. She's got that stuck shut on. I promise I've soaked her since they filmed. This is something we do a few times a week. Let's get her soaked, and then I need to replace the bedding in here and get her cage all cleaned up, and we could talk about that. But let's get her out and get her cleaned. All right, so we start off with room temp water. I don't want it to be too cold, but I don't want it to be too hot. I'm going to fill it up about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches. I think 1 inch might have been a little too high, maybe about 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch. So then I will oftentimes use the Reptile Electrolyte Soak. This is a really cool product that Zubin makes, and I will sometimes use this. But I think the old standby is just some aloe vera. We're going to mix a little bit of that in the water to help her get some nutrients. The end of this tortoise pen becomes my catch-all for everything. We're just going to sit her in there. We're going to let her soak. I'm going to kind of splash this water on her for a little bit. At this point in time, I'm just going to let her soak in this open-ended and keep an eye on her. We're going to shift gears in a little bit, but I just want her to hydrate and soak a little bit. As you can see, besides the skin that's kind of stuck on the top of her, she's got a healthy body weight. She's not obese. She is missing some nails. You can see them missing on the front feet. You can see them missing on the back feet. Her tail, that is all prior to her coming to us. She was thinner when we got her, but overall the previous owner did a decent job taking care of her and had gotten her, by the way, with the missing toes and tails. So the woman who had surrendered her to Badgerland was also trying to rehab her and was doing a good job. Any of the missing toes and tail came from before that woman took her in. So Kalisto, I don't use natural substrates. Scaleless bearded dragons have very sensitive skin, so in her cage I avoid any natural barks, natural substrates, any tree branches. I don't want her to get her skin ripped. Even that dry skin, I have to avoid the temptation of kind of pulling off. I have to kind of just let it happen naturally, because if her skin does rip, she's prone to infection. She's a lot more sensitive than a normal bearded dragon would be. So the bedding I use for Kalisto is this KT Clean and Cozy bedding. They make like a brown natural looking version of it. I sometimes have white mixed in with it, depending on what I grab from work, because I grabbed this from work. Thank you, KT. I'm gonna do some plugging for some products here. No one sponsors me. I don't get paid to say any of the things I'm about to say. These are honest opinions based on my use of these products. Let me show you guys. So because of humidity and water and stuff like that, that stuff gets stuck. Redline science. Redline shipping. Come on, there you go. Ah, stupid adjusting. Redline Science came out with these little scrapers with these plastic razors. I know it's a big project, but I can go in here and get all that stuff up. All right, reptile keepers. Three things, rubber, latex gloves, it's always good to have those. But two things that I think are really important for us to have as reptile keepers that are not reptile related products. Microfiber towels, they feel weird on your skin. That's why I sometimes like to use latex gloves, because my skin gets all prickly and I get overstimulated. That's the wrong word. You know what I meant. Microfiber towels are important, and I'm sorry, but Scrub Daddies are awesome. These are amazing products for scrubbing water dishes, scrubbing food bowls, scrubbing the bottom of the glass, bottom of the terrariums. These guys rock, you guys. And then again, I'm not a paid sponsor, but ZooMed Wipeout, this stuff is rad. I very much love using this to clean snake tubs, clean glass on cages. This is a fantastic product. F10 is another huge product that's important for us to have. But for the sake of right now, Scrub Daddies, microfiber towels, and Wipeout. Look at it. Just look at it. There we go. Okay, now that the glass is cleaned, we're going to use our KT Clean and Cozy. I've smelled too much of the ZooMed stuff now. Just kidding. I like to do a couple inches of this. So let's talk about a few things while I do this. I understand that there might be some controversy in keeping Kalisto in a 40 breeder. I know that the hobby is moving towards 4x2x2s, 75 gallons. At some point in the near future, I do want to give Kalisto an upgrade. I do use 40s for quarantining animals. Beardies, I do use 40s as temporary housing, just because of space. But I do want to, in the near future, get Kalisto an upgrade, and that could be a future video. So stay tuned, and we'll upgrade Kalisto to a 75, maybe. They don't use all of their space, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't offer them a lot of space. You know, I think it's up to them to decide if they want to use it. My old brain used to be like, well, they don't use a whole tank, so why should we give it to them? Well, that's the old thinking. Even us old-timer Gen Z reptile keepers can evolve too. At least we should be. So yeah, we're going to give Kalisto an upgrade at some point soon. So I wanted a substrate that was going to be natural, that was going to promote her natural behaviors of digging and burrowing, but I needed it to be hygienic. I needed it to stay clean, easy to clean, and safe for her skin. And so I kind of chose this all natural hamster bedding. It's made out of paper. If she accidentally eats it, it'll pass right through her. She's healthy enough to do that. But I bowl feed her, I tongue feed her, and so I avoid any of that complication whatsoever. She's already been through enough. She doesn't need any more drama in her life. And so tongue feeding her out of a bowl is going to prevent any substrate from getting in her stomach. And the paper promotes her natural behaviors while still making sure that she stays safe and infection free. Checking in on her, she's looking good. The some of the skin has kind of just come off on its own. She definitely has some on her ankles and feet still. And again, I have to resist the urge to pull it. It's not worth it. I would rather have her hang out with some skin on her than have her skin rip or tear. And so it's better just to leave it, as frustrating or annoying as it might be. Right, babe? When it's 50 degrees in Wisconsin and sunny, we wear shorts, t-shirts. I'm sick of the winter, and so I'm gonna jump the gun on wearing summer attire. All right, we're in back. I kind of rinsed everything off quick with the hose. We're gonna give it a little blast of the Zoom Ed stuff. And here we are. We soaked for about an hour. We are drying off on the towel. We are air drying our bodies. You could tell we already look really good. You could still see stuck shed. Again, I don't want to rip it. I probably said it a million times in this video, but I want to emphasize I don't want to rip her skin, so I'm not going to take it off. It just is going to naturally come off with our spa routine. So while her cage decor dries outside before we put it back in her cage, I want to show you one more thing we do after we soak and after we dry off. All right, this is a strange angle, but bear with me because I want you guys to see this. So after she dries and she's ready to go, we have one more thing we do, and we apply sometimes mineral oil on her, but there is a product that I highly recommend. Our friend Jordan Jones in Kentucky makes Repto Rub. She makes this herself. I'm pretty certain you could buy it online. If you are local to Wisconsin, we sell this at our Badgerland Reptile Rescue booth. We have little, like Carmex sized little cups of it. This is my big one because I use this all the time. This stuff is amazing. We put it on Ralphie when he has stuck shed. I will put it on any animals that have any abrasions. It acts as kind of like an ointment for that. This is a fantastic product and I highly recommend it. So we are going to apply this kind of generously. A little bit goes a really long way. We're just going to get it on her head, on the side of her face, on her arms, legs, and on her back, where all of that stuck shed lies. So let's do it. I just got a tiny little bit, kind of goes a long way, and I'm just going to gently rub it on. You got a little boo-boo there. What's that from? I think that's just color. I don't think that's a boo-boo. So sometimes the skin will roll off and I might help it roll off a little bit, but that's it. That is all I'm doing. Massage the feetsies. Spoiled Beardie. We're just going to keep working with that, letting that kind of naturally go. We do this at least twice a week, you guys, sometimes even more. Depends on the weather. In the winter time, we are a lot less humid and a lot more susceptible to shed. In the summertime, it's a little more humid and we don't have to do this twice quite as much. But let's get your little feeties and toes. Yeah, pretty good. Your belly's fine. Just put a little bit on there. And then let's get that tail. I'm gonna put a little bit more on the tail, a little bit thicker. Again, I don't want too much of it. Sometimes this kind of stuff can block UV absorption. I am fairly certain that this product will not, it's not like a Vaseline or a Neosporin that's gonna prevent UV absorption. It kind of goes into the skin and kind of helps, and she still is allowed to get her UV while she basks. And there's that. There she is. You can still see stuck shed. It's unavoidable for the most part. And especially, you know, as we're getting into spring and the humidity is getting better here in Wisconsin, we're going to keep doing this. There's our sweet lady. Here you go, love. So because she's a silky, silkback, whatever you want to call it, scaleless, because she's that, she cannot have the same care requirements as a normal Beardie. We have the cotton bedding, we have fake substrate, fake rock, so there's no infections. But also, she requires a little bit higher humidity than normal Beardies, a little bit of a smaller basking temp. Her basking temp is in the mid 90s. They can't be kept quite as hot. They can't have quite the temperatures that normal basking temperatures require for bearded dragons. And I have a lower UV on her, so she does not have the full intensive desert UV. She has UV. Her diet is supplemented, so she's healthy. You guys can see she's healthy, and she looks fantastic. And this is my routine with her. I want to take this time again to thank you guys so much for the subscribing. Thanks Dave Coughlin for coming out and filming the storefront again. It was about 4 years. I'm sure if you go way back in time, you could find the Dave video from about 4 years ago. You can even see some videos that I dropped a couple years ago and how much has changed at the facility. I want to continue showing you guys all of the things that I have going on around here with reptile education, reptile therapy. I'm going to make it a point to be more proactive in my filming and in my posting of YouTube videos. Again, you guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. Kalisto wants to thank you, and we will see you guys again really soon.